There's something so warm and comforting about Swedish meatballs. Maybe it's the combination of rich, dark gravy with tender meatballs, or maybe it's because they're made with those feel-good spices, nutmeg and cardamom. All I know is nothing screams comfort food like Swedish meatballs. Start by sauteing your grated onion in butter over medium-high heat. We're going to cook these onions down until they're translucent. It's going to take about 3 to 4 minutes. While our onions are cooking, over here I have our pieces of bread. I'm just going to pour our milk over it and let that bread soak up all the milk. This is what's going to bind our meatballs later, so just let those hang out. Great, so our onions are ready, and while they were cooking, I went ahead and put our beef stock into a small sauce pot. Now I'm just going to take these off the heat and transfer them back into a bowl and let them cool. Now, using the same pot, I'm going to make the sauce, and we're going to start with the roux. Now, a classic roux is butter and flour. So on a medium heat, we're going to melt our butter. Once our butter is melted, we're going to slowly whisk in the flour a little bit at a time. We want to continue whisking in the flour on medium heat until it has this nice nutty aroma. If you don't cook it long enough, it's going to taste like flour, but you really want to take your time with it. These meatballs are all about patience. You know, there's a lot of work involved, but it's totally worth it. Then you're going to add your beef stock a little bit at a time and continue whisking so lumps don't form. Whisk to remove all the lumps and then add more beef stock. The color of this gravy is like a beautiful caramel brown, and you can slowly feel it starting to thicken up. Great, we're gonna let our sauce simmer, and over here, now we're gonna make the meatballs. So our onions are nice and cool. We're gonna throw them into a big bowl. And our bread has soaked up all that milk. It's almost like this oatmeal consistency. Throw that in there. And then we're gonna add our ground pork. Our ground beef. Our 2 eggs. And then our spices. And remember, we're gonna use nutmeg and cardamom. A little bit of salt and pepper. Then, using your clean hands, we're gonna mix this all up. Don't be afraid to just get in there and have fun. This meatball recipe makes 40 to 50 meatballs, so something that I like to do is make an entire batch of meatballs, serve half, and then save the rest in your freezer for when you want to eat them. Once your ingredients are combined, you're going to grab a tablespoon amount, roll it between your hands to create the meatball, and then set it aside on a baking sheet. Now we're gonna brown the meatballs and cook them almost all the way through. So my sauce is still simmering, and I'm gonna add a little bit of olive oil to our pot. And then carefully place your meatballs in the pan. While you're cooking these, be sure to rotate them so you're cooking and browning the whole meatball. Once the meatballs are brown and firm to the touch, we're going to put them in the sauce and finish cooking them. These meatballs have been simmering for about 5 minutes. Now I'm just going to finish them with a dollop of sour cream. Anytime you're serving Swedish meatballs, you have to serve them with Lingonberry sauce. This is a tart berry, popular in Scandinavian cuisine, but it has a really nice flavor against that rich, creamy Swedish meatball. Oh, look at these. They're just drunk in gravy. A little bit of sauce. Oh, look at that. Finish it with a little bit of that lingonberry. Just a dollop right on top. And some chives. Just gonna get a little bit of that berry, a little bit of the gravy. Oh. These are so delicious. The meatball is perfectly tender. You can taste the spice from the nutmeg and that yummy rich gravy with the tart sweetness from the berry. Oh, this recipe is to die for. Perfect for the cold weather months. You gotta try it. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Brandy, and I'll see you next time on Pop Sugar.